Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Dr. Naqib.
Yes, I'm listening.
Can you hear me clearly?
Yeah, yes,
Okay.
quite clear, yes.
Okay. Thank you very much. First of all, I would like to thank you on behalf of Glyndwr University for giving us time for the interview.
It will be a pleasure. I'll try to help as much as I can.
Okay. Thank you very much. So, my first question, I would like to know about your current activities, experience, and achievement as well.
Okay. Currently, I'm working in Department of Physics, University of Rajshahi. This is in Bangladesh, and I have been working in this department since 1998. So it has been like almost 17 years. I am working in this university. And currently I am acting as a professor in the department. And you wanted to know my work experience?
Yes, please, your work experience.
Yeah. So I joined this department in 1998. And
Okay.
after that, I went to first in United States for higher education and then to Cambridge for my PhD. And I stayed in Cambridge for about 5 years continuously, and then I work in Cambridge as a research associate and as a postdoc. And in between, I spent certain time, like 1 year in New Zealand, where I worked in McDiarmid Institute of Advanced Materials and Nanotechnology. That was for 1 year as a research scientist. In 2015, I came back to Bangladesh. And since then, I have visited Cambridge several times, 5 or 6 times as a research scientist, as an invited scientist. And I have also been associated with the Abdus Salam International Center for Theoretical Physics in Italy. And that association is from 2010 till date. I have mainly served under these capacities over the years.
Mhm. We know that you are one of the famous researcher in Bangladesh in physics, and you have received two award. I think one is Bangladesh Academy of Science
Yeah,
gold medal,
yes.
and
Actually,
yes,
yeah, there have been a few awards, like one from the Bangladesh Academy of Sciences, one from Third World Academy of Sciences, that is in Italy, and there is another award for research publication uh, that is given under the name of Rajat Samsun Award.
okay.
That was given by Dhaka University, and last year I received the Best Researcher Award from my department. So so far, yeah, those are the ones.
So lots of achievement.
Not really, but yeah.
Okay, so um, you studied in Rajshahi University, as you mentioned. Then you went to United States, and after
Yes.
that you went to Cambridge, and you are also experience of having research in New Zealand. So my question
Yes.
is there any significant difference of teaching and research method among these countries?
Yeah, I think this is a very important question. This question is quite important, I guess, because you see, from my experience, I have taught physics as a teaching assistant in USA, then as a graduate mentor in Cambridge. I have also interacted with the students of Victoria University in Wellington, and of course in my university in Bangladesh. So there is no hard and fast rule of teaching. First of all, as a teacher, you have to know the intellectual ability and background of your students. Depending on that, you work out your strategy, because you see, an undergraduate student in Cambridge is comparatively much better equipped, uh, uh, say, if you compare him or her with a student in Department of Physics, Rajshahi University. So first of all, as a teacher, you need to know what background your student has and the kind of intellectual ability he or she has. Then you work out your strategy. So you have to be versatile. You have to understand your students' needs, and you have to find a way of communication, because unless you can interact effectively with your student, you will not be able to transfer what you know to your student. You will not be able to motivate him. And there is also this cultural barrier. An American student is culturally different from a student in Bangladesh.
Right.
So you have to adapt, and you have to see those things clearly before you can really teach them in a proper manner.
Right. Thank you for your answer. Now, what about the resource and facilities? Because resource and facilities is also very important,
Yeah.
especially technology
Yeah,
enhanced learning or
absolutely.
teaching.
Yeah, sure.
Do you think that
Absolutely.
Rajshahi University or the universities in Bangladesh or Asian subcontinent, do you think they have sufficient technology for teaching and learning?
If you compare it with an American university or an university in United Kingdom, then there is a stark difference. We don't have that kind of resource, so we have to be innovative, and we have very limited resource, and we have to use that resource as efficiently as possible. Uh, even the library facilities, the computer center, which we have here, that cannot be compared to any developed Western countries. So what we have to do, we have to put more effort, and we have to be, as I said, you have to be innovative, so that you can overcome those drawbacks. But it's possible. In a way, what we do here, when we teach a student in Bangladesh, we start from a very basic level, which might not be needed for a student in Cambridge. But here we start from a very basic level, and then we build up very gradually. And the students needs to be assured that the subject is not out of their capacity; they can grasp it. So you have to instill confidence in their mind. To do so, you have to start very slowly, and you have to discuss the easy things first and build up very gradually. That we have to do, and we have to spend more times in mentoring them, in improving their aptitude and attitude. So what I would say, that teaching in a underdeveloped countries or developing countries like Bangladesh is much more challenging, because the students, they have basically comparatively poor background, and they need more attention, and due to lack of resource, you have to innovate. You cannot teach them in a well structured fashion. You have to make changes, you have to accommodate them, you have to adapt, and all those things.
Okay. So, whatever I have understood from your statement, that in teaching in Bangladesh is more challenging, and teachers, they need to
Yeah.
be more innovative to make up the deficiencies in technology.
Yes.
And what about your experience of teaching in Cambridge, because you are the visiting scholar, teaching or research? Is that much easy to go and involve in research in USA
Yeah,
or
this
New
is
Zealand
this
or
is
Cambridge?
yeah, this is a very interesting question. This question is very interesting. That's because, as I said, students from different background uh, gives you a kind of different challenge. In Bangladesh, a student, the level of competency he or she has tells you that you start from very basics. That is not required in Cambridge, because an undergrad in Cambridge has a quite strong background. But in that situation, you have to teach in such a fashion that his intellectual abilities are challenged and stimulated. So, teaching in that kind of situation is not really easy. It has to be done in a different way, because as a teacher, you have to be on your guard, because an intelligent student and a well-prepared student will ask you difficult questions, which you will never be asked in a country like Bangladesh. So you have to be better prepared. You have to have better depth in your subject to teach these highly competent students. So the challenge is also in the Western world, in the developed world, but the challenge comes in a different form.
Okay, thank you.
So basically what I'm saying that in a country like Bangladesh, hardly ever you are faced with challenging and difficult questions from the students. But if you want to teach a Cambridge undergrad, you have to be prepared for very difficult and challenging questions, and you have to answer those questions in a proper manner.
Right. And what about the difference of teaching methodologies or resources among, the European countries or New Zealand and in US? Like you studied in US, United States, and then you also worked as a research supervisor or postdoctorate researcher in New Zealand, and also you are now working in Italy, I think, and Cambridge as well. So is there any significant difference among these European states or US or New Zealand?
I think if you think about the US and the UK system, I think the UK system is more liberal. The US system is more structured. I am talking from my experience in Cambridge. The students in UK they have more time doing their own thing, exploring their own interest in the subject, inside the subject, but they can explore more. In America, what I have seen, the structure is exam based. You have tests almost every day, either quiz or written test. Some sort of test will be an everyday affair. But that's not the case in Cambridge or Oxford. The students are given sufficient freedom so that they can explore, they can think, and they can assimilate what they have learned. But in America or in Canada, in North America, it is more based on solving problems and reading a certain part of the textbook and things like that. I think both those systems they have their merits and demerits. And the system in New Zealand, what I have observed, is similar to the British system. But whatever be the case, whether I'm talking about the US system or the UK system or what I have seen in the New Zealand, the system is at certain level very well structured. The students know from the beginning what they're supposed to read, how much they're supposed to learn, what would be the goal, and how the achievements will be calibrated and things like that. In Bangladesh or countries like those, the structure is missing. It has some good points, but I think a well-structured system, what is implemented in West, is in certain ways much better. We lack in this kind of structure because the learning outcome or explanation of the contents of the academic syllabus, these are not really very well structured in Bangladesh. So that is one main difference, I would say. And then there is those logistics issues and lack of resources and things like that.
Okay. Now I want to discuss
more. There is one point.
Yes.
There's just one point I want to add. There are certain private universities in Bangladesh.
Okay.
They are trying to follow the Western structure. So I think that's a good thing. But the problem is in these private universities, the student input is the quality of those students are not really that high. There are certainly some students who are good, but the vast majority is not that competent. But in those universities, there is a structured curriculum, and they try to follow that.
Okay. That is a good point. Now about research in Bangladesh, as you mentioned that in Bangladesh teacher they need to be more innovative. So in research, as far as I am concerned, we don't have that much resource in Bangladesh. Let's consider about
Yeah.
physics, because the physics is the department of your I think your department
Yeah.
is physics. So in Bangladesh, whenever the students are doing MPhil or PhD, how the supervisor or the professors they are facing the challenges of having lack of instruments or technology.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a big problem, and I must confess that the experimental part of the research is in a very sorry state of affairs in Bangladesh. Because to do meaningful and cutting edge physics experimentally, you really need advanced labs and the instruments and things like that. And we simply don't have those. So what we are trying to do under the circumstances is to focus on simulation, theoretical study, and some very basic level of experimentation. So this is a huge problem, and I really don't see any quick remedy of this problem, because the kind of funding we need and the kind of science and technology policy we have in our country, uh, I don't see that the situation will improve in near future, because there is problem in every level, from the policy, starting from the policy level to the implementation. There are many problems.
Right. And about only teaching your colleagues, how you are motivating your colleagues, because you have quite good experience of teaching in different countries. Because as you mentioned, that teaching will be very much challenging, and teachers need to be innovate. So how you are
Mhm.
guiding the colleagues or other staffs of your
Yeah. So
department?
yes, yes, yeah, yeah. Um, I think basically what we do when we do the group discussion, or we manage the practical labs collectively, we share our experience, we talk a lot, we share our problems, and we share our solutions, we share our views, we do that. And I think this is a good way of sharing experience and individual skills among the colleagues. And we do that, but we lack a formal structure. I think we should have a formal structure where every faculty member can sit together, all the faculty members, they can sit together and discuss the challenges they are facing, and we can share our problems and solutions. We are doing it at certain level, but this can definitely be improved. And I think this is required in every university, in every department. This is not I would say this is not specific to Bangladesh. In any university, when the colleagues, academic staff members, they sit together and discuss about what they are teaching, how the students are responding. That can do a world of good to everyone's teaching ability, and this is a very good thing to do. And we do it, but not under any formal structure. We do it informally.
Okay. And do you have any plan, future plan about the education sector in Bangladesh?
We are working in the education sector in our own capacity, but what
Do you
I'm
have
trying
any
to do,
recommendation?
yes,
Because as far as I am concerned, right at
yes,
this moment, there may be around hundreds of
yeah,
universities,
please,
private and public universities operating in Bangladesh. So,
yes.
do you have any recommendation for them? Because your experience, your research ability,
Yeah,
if come out.
I think what yes, I think what we should do. Uh, Currently we are doing a self-assessment program in our department, and this is related to quality assurance scheme. So the first suggestions I would like to make is that every program offering entity, that is every academic department, should have a formal structure for self-assessment. And there is international standards and benchmarks for self-assessment. that has to be practiced in every Bangladeshi universities and in every department. Once we can identify our major drawbacks and the sectors where we are lacking, then we can devise a plan how to improve in those sectors. And that can be done collectively by asking the experts from various sectors, and they can sit together with the self-assessment report, and based on those reports, they can make certain recommendations. I think that is a way forward, and that has to be done in every university in Bangladesh. The second thing is there are skilled teachers in Bangladesh. So there should be a teaching and learning excellence center for excellence in teaching and learning in every university, because as we teach students, most of the teachers they need to know how to teach. This is not done in a formal way in Bangladesh, but I think this scheme has a lot of potential. If we do it properly, we arrange for summer schools, and we train the teaching staff about the pedagogy, and the teachers need to be trained, whether it is in the primary level or tertiary level. The teachers need to be trained, and but before doing that self-assessment part is very important. Internal evaluation by the students in a transparent manner, and we need to know in a frank and open manner that what we are doing, where we are failing, where we are excelling. These things are not really practiced in a very transparent manner in our country. So I would say these are the main points where we need to put our attention.
Yeah, I think you are absolutely right. Pedagogy and practice, this is very important for most of the teaching staffs in Bangladesh.
But you also have some experience in teaching in Bangladesh, and you know that those things are not practiced here at all.
Yeah.
So we need to practice those.
Yeah, I think you are absolutely right. Teaching experience or teaching qualification training, this is very important. And what about the technology enhanced learning? Do you believe that beside teaching qualification or teaching teachers training, if we promote technology enhanced learning, then it is significantly possible to reduce the gap between Western world education and Bangladeshi education?
Yeah, absolutely. Because without technology integration, you cannot really match what is done in America and Europe. So technology must be integrated, and we need those skills. For those skills, there should be proper training schemes. Currently, in our university, we are trying to integrate as much technology as possible, but we are still far behind if you consider the standards in Europe and America. But we are trying that, yes, and that is very much necessary, because you see, a graduate from any university has to be world class, because you cannot excuse a student just because he is coming from a university in Bangladesh. He has to be able to compete with a European or American graduate, and this has to be done, because if you have a university, there is no excuse. You have to be world class.
Right. Thank you very much, Dr. Naqib, for your time. And
it was a pleasure. And
yes, again, thank you
very much. Thanks a lot to you too.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Goodbye.
Thanks.